Good morning, everyone. You guys ready for another morning pages? Yesterday we participated in Modular Monday, 2 mixed results. But that's the point of morning pages, is just experimentation. We don't know how today is going to go, and I think that's the beauty of it. So let's go ahead and get started. We're back doing reintegrating the DAW instruments, and right now, as you can see on the screen, you're listening to Platt's drone, and actually it's just a simple waveform. Let me change this. This is the operator form that you'll hear kind of going through pretty soon. Platt's going through clouds. It's the drone part and that little scratchy sound. Hey, Official Nocturne, what's up? And you are also hearing the primary oscillator from Pittsburgh Modular running through beads. That's what that scratchy sound is. So hey, thanks for joining in today, and we're just going to get started before this morning coffee starts wearing off, although I'm only in the middle of my second cup. Okay, so today's morning parameters will be a tempo of 109 beats per minute. We're going to be in G Lydian key and scale. I think right now this is a G. Or close enough to a G. So we're already at a good start. For hardware, we're going to use a MicroFreak over here. You see it? Ready to roll. We're going to be using Ableton Live's probability pack. And I think those are mostly MIDI and audio effect devices, but we can check on that. For VSTs, we're going to be using Heavyocity Vocalise, and we're going to be running that through Complete Control. I think I'm on version 10. And for effect, we're going to use Guitar Rig. And I might pull out the guitar and maybe just make a drone in G. All right. So the oblique strategy of the day is the most important thing is the thing most easily forgotten. Gonna have to really dig hard on that one because it's easy to forget a lot of little things. Okay, so let's get started. I'm gonna turn down this modular a little bit because sometimes that scratching is a little off, although let me turn down the frequency. Let's see if that does anything. Maybe that'll be a little less crazy. Okay. And in terms of VSTs, let me go ahead and put in the Heavyocity Vocalise. If you haven't heard of it, it's a sample synth built within a Contact library. And they recorded a bunch of singers. Let's find this. I'm going to open it with Complete Control. So just give me 1 second. And in the meantime, let me patch up the MicroFreak Let's go ahead and looks like my library is indexing. But let's go ahead and find that Vocalise. And if you look over here, you'll see that I've got the Rainbow Wheel of Death. It's I think it's just loading the instrument right now. It's a really good one. They're on version 2. Although when I heard some of the demos, they sounded very similar. So I'm not gonna jump on that one quite yet. Although I think they might all be on sale right now. Let me see if there's a G. No, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna use C. Or we can go through some of these. Let's go through some of these presets. Let's look at this motion pulse real quick. And since we're in G, I'm going to go ahead and put the push into the G scale. G, and it's Lydian, right, today? Let's see if we can hear what that's going to sound like. Well, we're at a weird, I want something with a sharper attack. Maybe like this, so we can kind of hear what the scale is going to sound like. And it doesn't go super high. It's a sample-based instrument, and I think every note may have been sampled. I don't think there's any pitch up or pitch down, so it's pretty high-quality sample. It's not a sample pack, it's a sample-based instrument. That's what Lydian sounds like in G. This is actually... This, let me get the drone into G. Well, maybe we can do the modular stuff a little bit later. I really like this sound. So let's see. Yeah, why don't we use this as a pad? I know we've got a drone already, but now maybe we could repurpose the modular for something else. Or better yet, let's make this, let's put the Noodler or the NDLR from Conductive Labs to use. I'm going to use the drone track, and we're going to make sure that Vocalise is set to the drone track, which is number 2, port 2, if you can see up here on screen. I'm going to have to arm that because once you change a MIDI source, for some reason Live doesn't like to keep the auto, or Live and push combo doesn't like to keep the auto arm on. Okay, and then what I'm going to have to do on here is actually change the key to G and Lydian. There we go. And we got the drone going. The drone is on. See if this is going to accept anything. go. I think the drone is just going to keep us at... I see. We can record some of this in. Right now I'm manipulating the notes on the noodler. Yeah, I like that. Cool. I'm liking this. So, against all of my instincts, let's just start with this drone. And in fact, while we're at it, let me make sure that the MicroFreak is ready to roll. In fact, maybe we could even use a pad and use the noodler's pad. And yeah, actually I'm thinking maybe we can use the noodler to sequence everything today. So what I gotta do is find my MicroFreak. I have it in track 2, so it's actually gonna take the place of this 303. Oh yeah, and we gotta make sure that if we want to keep hearing that drone. Huh, what happened to that? Oh. Wrong one. Okay. So now we hear the... Do you guys like the touch capacitive type keys? I like how expressive it could be. So these are all touch, or is that what they call it? Touch capacitive keys. And you have the ability to do kind of an aftertouch type thing by putting more surface area on them. So if you click it, or if you press a key down with the tip of your finger, it's going to sound like this. And if you start adding more surface area to it, for example, rocking your finger down, check out what it sounds like. So you have a lot of expression that you can add. But let's find a pad that we can work with, and in fact, I'm gonna just get the MIDI from Noodler port 1, which is our pad. Although, no, let's get it from the motif. Let's make this a lead part. We want to make this a something. We want the MicroFreak to be pronounced. Port 3, how come that's not working? Okay. I'm wondering why. Let's also get this to 109. This is getting it from port 3. This MicroFreak should be getting... Let me see. Oh, I see. Okay. So I'm on the wrong channel. MicroFreak is channel 12. There we go. Sometimes hard to keep track of those channels. Video game fans out there? Oh, it can't be on Twitch, right? Quite sure. Oh, this is why. Here we go. This utility has to, because for some reason this is so soft. Let me just boost this up with the compressor. Although I haven't seen where I am in them. Okay. Okay, this is our root key right here, G in Lydian. I'm gonna, let me put on a quick 4 on the floor. Let me move Vocalise out of the way. I think we found our patch. And not to say this is gonna be 4 on the floor, but I like to use 4 on the floor rhythm instead of the metronome. There's a little bit of a lag on some of the instruments because right now we are only using the MicroFreak and the TR-8S as well as the internal Vocalise track. now let me think of a chord progression. Here's another thing we can do. Let's go ahead and let me find a pad. Let's go ahead and use another piece of hardware. We're going to be using the Prophet 6, and I'm going to be using Noodler Port 1, which is going to be the pad. And the great thing about the Noodler is it's going to send out the same pattern or within the same key to each of its 4 tracks. And so that's why this is playing quadruple duty, although I think we're only going to be using the pad on the Prophet 6, the drone on Vocalise, the VST, and the first motif, which is like the lead pattern or the arpeggiator or whatever you would want to call that, here on the MicroFreak on the updated preset Lati. Although let's change this up a little bit. Give it a little different feel. The thing I like about this machine is that although it's a digital oscillator, the filter is an analog filter. So you really hear how smooth it is. There's an envelope on there, but... So let's hear what we have so far and go ahead and arm this Prophet. Actually, although we should probably listen and find a patch on here. Do you like that? It's not really a pad sound, but we can let it sustain a little bit. Let me raise this volume up a little bit, and then let's listen to everything. Okay, it's a little too subtle, so maybe let's find a good lead pad. And I'm not loving that strum either, so I'm going to change that. Maybe we can kind of move the pad around a little bit. I want this to be a little maybe something like that. What do you guys think of that sound? Now it's totally different. We're using a FM operator algorithm. I like that. Let's hear what it sounds like with all of the different chord changes. So we've got 3 parts going at the same time, and I want to record these in as MIDI. And actually, now that we've got some parts, I'm going to turn down this the volume of the modular. We'll reintroduce it again later on. But if you're just joining us, we are sequencing 3 parts with the Noodler, or the NDLR. First, we're using the pad track to control this right here, the Prophet 6. We're using the drone track to control the internal VST right here. The instrument we're using within Complete Control is called Vocalise, and it's a vocal synth type. Not an emulation, it's actually a sample-based instrument in Native Instruments Contact. And then finally we're using the first motif to control the MicroFreak. So we got 2 pieces of hardware, 1 piece of software, and I think we're ready to kind of record some of these in just as MIDI. And then we could kind of figure out where we would want to place that before we record it as audio. So let me just quickly figure out a pattern. This is a root key. All of the chords in this scale are pretty great. So I'm thinking let's just go ahead and record something in. we've got enough. And as you'll see, the great thing about Noodler is I've got all of my parts here as MIDI. So this one right here, let me rename this as MicroFreak. This one is Vocalise. I'll just call it Vocal. And yeah, oh, interesting. So my drone kind of looks like this. Let's hear what we have. I can now put this back into push 2. All of these. We're done with the Noodler today. Unless we have to re-record something, but it looks like we've got some decent patterns here going. We could always kind of change these up. So I want to say there are a couple of different areas that we might want to just split up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this simple, and I'm going to duplicate these MIDI tracks, 1, 2, 3, 4, to 4 different ones. Let me recolor these for now. These will be what we use as our master. So I'm going to go ahead and just deactivate that for now. And I think having 4 different patterns will be great. So like for these 3, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that first oh yeah, I think I'm going to have to, I don't know if there's a way to do all of them at the same time. There we go. So this will be our root right here. And so and in fact, we can, with that, I'm gonna, well, how about this? Maybe it's easier to go like this. I'll duplicate that right down here. Let's recolor that, and let's shift all of these guys 1, 2, 3. I'm not quite sure. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to edit multiple MIDI clips with the same length. I know that was kind of a new feature, or an upgraded feature in Live 11. And then maybe this 13 and bar 13 through 16 be the next one. And in fact, let me duplicate all of these. This will be purple. So right now I'm just kind of, see, this is kind of confusing. I wonder if I can change the start point of these as well, or if it's just something I have to do manually in each clip. That wouldn't make sense. If you know, let me know in the comments. What I essentially want to do is just move these start points as well. It's almost easier to just do everything kind of manually. Well, anyway, so what I have are these 4 bars right here, and then let me find one more maybe just this last 30 through 36. Yeah, okay. Okay, we'll do that. I wish can I select all of them at the same time? Oh, I can. This makes it easier. But what I can't do is somehow figure out how to move the start point. And actually, what I didn't do was quantize everything. So I might have to do that. Can I do that on all selected clips at the same time? No, I can't. I think this all has to be done individually. Weird. I mean, not a big deal, but maybe they can if they're all in the same track. No. Although these didn't need quantization. Oh, it did. Okay, so this will be great for us to now, let me crop all of these clips, and let's go ahead and go into arrangement. And we could kind of arrange this before we record this in. So I've got 4 different parts, and we can kind of pick and choose where we would want to let's go ahead and just put a rhythm to it. It's actually kind of off. Let's just go ahead and grab this. So we've got a little beat going in the background while we're trying to figure out our pattern. Interesting. Something changed. This is the one that changed. My pad changed. Anybody remember what? Let me find another good pad then. Maybe something like that. similar. So I'm going to just replace that. We only need 3 of these. And in fact, these can all even, yeah, let's just keep it simple. So here's our 16-bar loop. No, what I wanted to do was just extend this out. Duplicate. This will just make things easier. Since these are a little staccato anyway. Consolidate. Consolidate. So it's a weird 14 bar. Right, but then maybe we just put a break in here anyway. We just start it again. This will just kind of be the basis of our tune. I think that's fine. And what I might want to do is let's go ahead and just lock this in as audio, just to make it a little easier. So what we're going to do for that is make sure we can arm our VST track, our MicroFreak track, and our Prophet 6 track. And can do all of this over here, and maybe while this is going on, well, that's okay, we can add effects later. Let me just make sure I like this Prophet. Maybe something like that. Let's see how that sounds. Yeah, I like that better. And we can move it back into the mix a little. Yeah. Okay. This is the one kind of like an accordion type sound. And just to give it some movement for now, add a little delay. Actually, what we can do is, yeah, let's do all this now before we forget. Let's see. Yeah, add a little reverb. Let's make the size a little bigger. Let's see how that sounds. And then while the MicroFreak's going, I'm gonna turn some knobs. Maybe switch the wave elements and the timbre. Okay, let's just go ahead and do this. Now I gotta rearm those tracks. What was it? Track 5, track VST, and Profit. And we're just going to go back here, and we're going to do the full 30 bars, 32 bars, because we want to have that silence. Okay, kind of messed up on this part. Oh no, I was recording the wrong part, so we gotta do it again. Well, I think we're okay with that one, but anyways, I wasn't even recording the MicroFreak. So that's the only one we're gonna have to redo, which is fine because I messed up on that one. Let's make sure we can get it back to where we had it. Let's try this again. I guess we got that in there. Woo! All right. All right. So, yeah, not too bad except for that ending weird feedback. But actually within this one, I'm going to go to the envelope and I'm gonna, well, I don't want to do the track volume. Maybe is there a utility? No. Let me add a utility and just cut all of that off. I'm gonna let it ring out a little bit. Go like this. And right now I'm just pressing my Option key to kind of, let's see how that sounds. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's not too bad. All right, so now what we have is our chord progression on our three main parts. So, and this is all done through the noodler. Let me go ahead and put all of this in. And actually now what we can do is, well, we could either repurpose these tracks and use them in another way, or we could just be done with them for now. So right now I'm just gonna turn them off. And then I'm thinking maybe we can have a nice bass line. And then we could work on the modular and then work on a little drum pattern. And then I think after that we'd be ready to record all that in. Let's go ahead and how this would sound. That's what we're gonna do, something like that. We're not gonna use that. We're gonna, I mean, the sound could be. We'll mess with the sound a bit. But that's kind of the general pattern that I want. And then if we mess up on, here's a trick. This is what I'm gonna do. Watch this. So I kind of, I have the note that I want to be in. I've folded all of that up, and I know that my first, what I'm going to do first is quantize this at 100%, and just let me just make sure my first 4 bars are at the rhythm that I want. And then now that I know the next 4 bars are going to be at that level. Where was it? That one. That is B2. So I'm just going to take that. And move it up there. And then I might even take off this first note so it's less static. And then now I know that the next step is this, I think it's 2 bars right here. Just a semitone up. I'm just gonna grab these guys. And then let's yeah, so it would be right up here. Right here. Let me just double check. Shoots. Well, let's just try it again. Well, let's just keep this straight for right now, but you can see that I can do a bunch of different things with the bass line, just having the MIDI notes in there. And then it just ends that way, I think. Yeah, and that's, yeah, a weird 15 bar, but what I'll do is just extend this out. I'll keep it like that. And I could do some sound design. Okay. And actually, I'm just gonna take all these and put it down an octave. Actually a weird 14 bar loop, and then maybe this just extend out as much as it can. Okay, let's try this. And we won't even loop it. Do that again. My microphone got slipped up. Let's do another variation. Okay, so I like that first variation to maybe come in a little bit later. It was a little bit more nuts. So we're gonna switch those guys up, and we got our bass line. We need a couple more elements. We need a better drum. Let's work on that. So maybe instead of a 4 on the floor, let's do something different. In fact, maybe what I'll do is I'll program this on the TR-8S. So let's go ahead and let these guys ring. How long is this? Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use this one, and we'll go ahead and loop that. And then I'm gonna just mess around with the drums. We don't want the 4 on the floor anymore. I'm not feeling that. I'm thinking I'm gonna I'm gonna do this on the push. Let's see. Now, maybe the 4 on the floor for this jam is the best. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not feeling super creative rhythmically today. But yeah, I mean, I think putting in a 4 on the floor is fine. So let's program that in on the good old XOX box, known in my studio as a TR-8S. Oops, I had it on the wrong one. Let me clear that pattern. And we're just gonna let this run as we program in a 4 on the floor beat. I'm gonna try to make it as interesting as possible. It's not gonna sound super interesting right now. Yeah, maybe a 707. $909. Oh, these guys are not on loop. That would help. This would help for me. Let me do a little bit of mixing. Okay, that's what we'll do. Ooh, I got a weird loop point. Maybe the best way to do it is to just go back into arrangement, let this one loop a little bit, and then first let me put in my bass lines. And then we'll just loop this just so I can get my drum groove going. Also okay, I think that's good. And we can actually up the tempo a little bit, maybe later on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna record all of that in live, and then I could delete it off of the machine, and yeah, I think we're good to go with our drums. And I want to do a little bit of modular and then a little bit on the radio. Okay. Okay, and quantize, and we're good. Now I just have to clear this. So what happens if you have the pattern on the drum machine and playing the MIDI at the same time is you're going to hear double notes. But it's pretty close. I finally got this to sync up somewhat. But you can tell that there's a little bit of a lag, so you'll hear a doubling of the notes. So to avoid that, I mean, we have the pattern here. We can always re-input this pattern into this drum kit. So I'm just going to clear the pattern itself. And by pattern, I just mean the notes or the drum hits that the machine is telling the internal sound engine to sound at any given time. So now check it out. So now we're fine. And I'm gonna lower that ride cymbal. But this is everything that we have. And now with the MIDI, having the MIDI notes, I can move them around. I could even change some of the positions to sound a different drum, in fact, later on. So that's why I like putting them in as a MIDI clip. Okay. So let's see if there's anything cool on the radio right now.
Well, it was one of those things. The real estate agent had just been authorized to rent the place by mail that morning, and he'd hardly had time to look at it himself and put up his sign when we drove up. It was just an ordinary little California house about.
You know, we've done a lot with this old-time radio. Let's put in some.
Just an ordinary, undistinguished.
Let's look at British news, see if there's anything.
Remittances, such as send in money from outside the country, from family outside the country.
How's it going to work then? Now it's legal tender. What do people need to do?
There is some confusion among the population here about exactly.
Let's see how it sounds in context. No.
A connection to the internet and have the sufficient technology to accept Bitcoin.
Comedy. Let's see if there's something in a comedy.
I know. You won't listen to any program where you don't tear something off, send it in, and get something back. Now, what do you want? What's on your mind?
Well, boys, you know Hollywood Park racetrack open last Thursday.
Yes.
And you know how cheap votes are right now.
This isn't really a humorous kind of sounding track. Let's try something that I... This one sounds like a soccer game going on. UFO Paranormal. Nope. Okay. There's nothing there. Nature? Maybe some nature in the background? Oh, this is like rain. Oh yeah. Let's take some of this thunder and lightning, or well, thunder and rain patter. I'm gonna let this go a little bit. I want this thunderous part right over here. And what we can do is maybe pitch it down and add some more effects to it. Ocean, thunderstorm, and rain. Cool. Okay, I'm going to take this right here. I'm going to call this rain. Ocean, rain, thunder. I like this thunder piece too, so let's let it go a couple times. And maybe this just runs in the background with some heavy effects. So I'll spend another 30 seconds on this. And if you have the radio app, the name of the station is Ambient Nature Radio, Sleep and Relaxation. So yeah, maybe right after that thunder. I'm gonna take this right here. We'll just call this Ocean, Rain, Thunder 2. So we've got that. I want some vocals. So let's check this out. Let me see if there's anything like talk radio or something. Well, I don't want to get a hit on my copyright. I don't want to get a copyright strike on Twitch, so let's go for... There's a good African talk station. No, well, this radio right now. Let's see.
Then came the mysterious radio call, which identified itself as Control, ordering us to abandon our project and return to the advanced base on the moon. And finally, the detection of an object on the radar and televiewer screens, which proved to be the missing...
I don't know, this is kind of my go-to.
Still dead on course for Mars.
Let's see if there's anything on Arabic radio. Those were the days. No, that radio station's offline. No. Soma Space Station. This actually has music behind it, I think. AM 1710. No.
Yeah.
Real World. Actually, this Real World one's pretty cool. It's just like ambient sounds, and it'll tell you. This one's just street noise. And you can hear some of the birds chirping. So, you know, if you're looking for maybe something to put in the background of your track to give it maybe a real world vibe. You know, with electronic music, if you're doing everything in the box, it's really easy for the song to sound, I mean, really great sonically, but then, you know, you kind of miss out on some of that noise unless you add it in. So some street sounds like this kind of give it some character. Okay, I'm not seeing anything. I mean, we're not looking super hard, but let's try a couple more. UFO, paranormal, horror, those were the days, Halloween. Maybe let's try this Halloween one. No, this one might have something copyrighted on there, so I'm gonna change it real fast. Okay, no, we'll just use that ocean. And maybe some of the street noise. All right, let's let this run for 30 seconds. And then I'm gonna loop that as well. Okay, maybe that's enough. Grab this. And click Save Selection, and I'm just gonna say street noise. Just street. And we'll be done with the radio. And actually what you'll see is if we add this in fact, even if we just add this part in, I'm going to turn it off, and then let's go ahead and play what we have so far. Okay, so there's no ambient noise right now, but let me add in this ocean. I mean, it's overemphasized, but you can kind of see how it adds some depth. Even just the street sound right here. So I'll turn that off. Turn it off, and especially in these breaks. So right now this is just street noise playing in the background right here. It's overemphasized again, but you'll see that it adds something because when we take it out, it kind of sounds a little more flat, I guess, like in your face. Let's add it back in. You know, just adding a little bit of street noise in the back is kind of cool. I mean, I like how the kind of character it adds. So we've got a little bit of that. Let me grab another section of that. The great thing about radio is that it's always putting whatever is being played into the buffer, even if it's muted, even if the track is muted. Street 2. So now we've got a couple different options for street and ocean noise. So see, it's just very subtle. I have a lot of delay on there, but I'm going to turn that off. And yeah, maybe we just go with that unless we want to go back to our modular. But I think we're okay. We did a lot of modular yesterday. So I'm just going to keep that down, actually turn that off. And yeah, let me just turn all of these off. Got our audio track, put that in. We got our drum track as well. So everything we did today, like all of the musical parts, with the exception of the bass line, was done using the noodler. So we used 3 of the parts to give us the our tune, really. So let's bring all of these in to, let me move this over. I haven't been getting any crashes when I'm moving my tracks recently, so I'm wondering if it is that MC101 that was messing me up. Okay. So we can have the basis of our track. Maybe what I'm going to do is I'll move the street noise down to track 6 over here and just have that kind of running in the background to give some space. And, you know, just real on the quiet side and like maybe a lot of reverb. Kind of swirly reverb. The one that I have on here right now is the algorithm called Tides. And let's name all of these. This one right here is my Vocalise. If you've just joined us, we can listen to all the parts separately. We'll call this Vocalise. This one's our lead. This one's our MicroFreak lead arp. This is our bass line. Bassline 1, row 1, and then this one is bassline 2, row 1. And let's raise the tempo a little bit. So now we're kind of going against our morning page parameters, but that's a great thing about working in a DAW is even if you record in the audio, you can change the tempo at any time. This is our pads. I think it changed again. There's some weird MIDI being transmitted that changes my program. So I just call this a Prophet 6 pads, and I don't know what number we based our patch on. And then this is just Ocean Rain and Thunder 1 and 2, and this is our drums. We got a 16-bar loop, and yeah, I think we're ready to kind of start working. I'm gonna move this over. I don't want any drums to come in until maybe right around here. Maybe we start off with our vocals, and then these guys don't come in until about here. We'll put our break between 15 and 16. Wait. Let me just really quickly take a look at my timing. Break, and then end break. BRK. I want to keep these together, although the timing of the split right here can be also cut. Yeah. And maybe have a bigger break right here. And again, this is all just looking at this visually. We can maybe just loop these guys. And maybe everything just ends at the almost the 2-minute mark. Yeah, we don't have to get too crazy. But actually with this break right here, let's see what this thunder sounds like. It might be fun to put some thunder in as the main part of the break. Yeah, like right here. So let's just see how this break would, actually the break is right here. Break 2. And then the drums would kind of drop out. This is just to see how that break transition would sound. It might be cool to have like a little newsreel sounding thing in here eventually. Yeah, I think we're good with this. Maybe we go like here. Maybe we start off. I think this is a, yeah. Thinking, let's find the first 4 bars of this bass line. Maybe the bass line starts coming in right here. And same with this. Just so we have some variation on the bass line, because it's just going to be that same root note. We can actually put this in right here. So we'll do. No. This is the reason why. I'm gonna go like this. Yeah, we can start off with the bass line. Raise the gain. Oops, too much. Raise the gain on these bass lines. Let's see, that's too much. Maybe 606. That's easy to remember. Okay. And with this break, maybe with that break, we come in with this. Actually, just gonna maybe this one gets reversed for just a little bit, and then the second break just ends right here. Let's leave this selection. This will be our break right here. This is a 6-bar break. And we're getting into weird territory right here. But maybe, yeah. Maybe it's just a little bit that. Oh, I kind of get I have an idea right here. Maybe we can take that off, and we'll take out all of these drums right here, except for the percussion and these rides. No, but we could bring in some thunder right at the end of that break. Like this. Start everything back up again. And then we can start dropping things out. But we can end with some vocals. Maybe some reverse vocals, like that. The reverse doesn't sound much different, huh? Go like that. Yeah. Then we end with the street noise. You can kind of get the echo in there. Actually, we could just get a real sharp echo sound right here at the end. And I do want these pads to come in at some point in an interesting way. Because they kind of get lost, huh? Oh, that's what we'll do. This is what we'll do. So we get some solo pads. Maybe. It's a little artificial sounding, but let's go ahead and roll with it. In fact, let's make this even more crazy sounding. And then we'll and then it'll just fade out there. Let's see how this would sound. Yeah. Although I want it even more dreamy. That's almost a little too much still. Yeah. And then we're ending with like this street noise. It's almost like, because if you've just joined us, we've got some ocean, rain, thunder that we found on that radio app as some ambient noise. And in fact, why don't we take the street noise out at the beginning? So it's almost, I don't know if this is really going to work, but you know, only you as the artist would know. But, you know, we start off with something a little more organic, thunder, rain, ocean, waves, just slightly in the background. Like, you can't hear it too much, but I think if it's not there, you miss it. And then we kind of fade from that organic feeling nature to like some basic street noise. That might work. Let's let that roll like right around here. Yeah, maybe something like this. So now the street noise starts fading in. I mean, the rain is a little over the top right here. Okay, let's work on the drums at the beginning. I just want to start off with the 4 on the floor kick. And in fact, maybe we just kind of go like this. Got a break over here. Let's just make the first 8 bars just the straight up kick. And, oh, well, we can start off with that 808 crash cymbal. No, let's move this one to the right here, and then maybe here we can add in some of those percussive elements. I'm thinking here, we don't want our ride cymbal. That was kind of... I don't even want my snare or these hi-hats. We'll just go like that. And then maybe everything comes in except for the ride cymbal. Something needs to be put into this break. I don't know what it is. Maybe a sample. Let me see if I could find an old radio sample that might kind of fit. Yeah, something like that. Let's do that. I'm just going to throw it onto this track right here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the members of the Institute will listen to you with the greatest interest, no matter how important your All right, ladies and gentlemen, the members of the Institute with the greatest interest, no matter how important your
that crash cymbal is a little and I take that back. This one actually probably needs its own track because now I could put in another vocal, and this one is just going to be you can find another sample from that section. I have no idea what it's going to say, but I named this America 4. I think they're talking about, I think this is from the Science Fiction Channel.
That is under observation at the end of the globe.
Yeah, something like that.
Under observation. That woman says she's new planes coming out of the car. Then turn the shape of a small naked child. You think that's something? I've been watching one change into a crystal pillar, then into a golden statue, and then into a staff of cedar, and then back into a woman. Crystal pillar, then into a golden statue, and then into a staff of cedar, and then back into a woman.
This.
No, not
I think it's okay to just kind of end like this then. I think we kind of got our jam. I mean, there might be some extra little things that we would want to put in here. But, you know, if you want to hear this over again in its entirety, I'm going to play it all the way through as I record it as a track. But I'll also be putting this on SoundCloud. I'm a couple days behind schedule because of the holiday weekend. I went on a nice hike yesterday. So took a little bit of a break on uploading things. And then also, if you want to catch a replay of this, you can find it, of course, on Twitch, but then I also upload these the next day after the 24-hour moratorium on my YouTube channel. All right, so hey, thanks for joining in again for another episode. Looks like we've gone another 2 hours, so I think these shows are now 2 hours long, which is fine. I mean, I hope you guys also were able to create something alongside me. I think that's the fun of this whole process. Okay, let me just add some delay effects at the end. Maybe something like that, and we'll just see how that goes. So let's go ahead and record. I'm going to turn off my mic, and we'll see you again tomorrow morning. Thanks for joining. Aloha. Thanks again. We'll see you